Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Through the Journey with Jennifer. And I am continuing this I Choose Me series where we are learning to choose us, to choose rest, to choose peace, because we deserve it. But today I want to talk about something that I think is important, but I think it also gets overlooked, and that's rest. For many of us, rest can feel like a luxury or something we have to earn. And we tell ourselves, I'll rest after I finish this, or I can't take a break right now. But here's the truth: rest is not something you have to earn, it's essential for your health, your happiness, and your growth. I used to feel guilty for making time for myself. I would lay on the couch or lay across the bed, and I would look in the corner and I would see a load of laundry that needed to be done, or something that needed to be cleaned, or something the kids needed help with. And it was like, even though I was laying there, my mind was racing, thinking about everything, you know, work, the kids, bills, my husband, my family. It was just always going. And that's not resting. So I was not really able to fully rest the way I needed to. Unfortunately, it wasn't until I was forced to rest because of my mental health. And I had taken FMLA leave from work for my mental health. And at first, I felt anxious and a little undeserving of the rest. One day, my husband had called to check on me, and I was trying to rest, um, to calm my mind, to calm my body. And he called me one day. I was laying in the bed, and he was asking, he said, "What's wrong?" And I tried to play it off like nothing. I'm just laying here, watching a movie. And he's like, "Nope, what's going on? What's bothering you?" And I told him, I said, I feel guilty for just not doing nothing. I'm just laying here. I'm not working. I'm not cleaning. Like, I'm just doing nothing. And he was like, well, that's part of you taking this time, is to rest, you know, to take care of yourself. He was like, don't feel guilty for that. And I needed to hear that, and that helped me. And day by day, I started to realize that my energy and my focus was starting to return. I was told by my doctor a couple of years ago that I had fibromyalgia. I was always tired. My body was in pain. But after those, I'll say about a week, about a week of being out on FMLA, I started to feel a change in my body. I didn't feel the pains and the aches. I didn't feel tired and drained, and I realized that it was all stress running through my body, and now I understand that rest doesn't make me lazy. It makes me whole, more present, and more capable of showing up fully in all the areas of my life. I'm sure you know how chronic overwork, overthinking, The lack of rest can lead to burnout, anxiety, and even the physical health issues. As moms and wives, we push ourselves the hardest, and we carry a lot of the mental load of the family, um, work, social expectations, you know? And we think sometimes that rest is optional, but rest isn't optional, it's critical, you know? It is a critical component of self care and personal growth. By reclaiming rest, we actually enhance our ability to be creative and think clearly and be present and more productive. You don't need to earn rest, it's your right, your necessity. And it's a gift to yourself. So give it. Give yourself the gift of rest. All right. So of course I have um my three ways to embrace rest guilt free. The first one is schedule it. Treat rest like an important appointment in your calendar. Um, for me, some of the things that I do is when it's a rainy, just a rainy, dreary day, I count that as a rest day. Um, I'll get up out of the bed, I'll take a shower, and then I'll just lay around and do nothing and just, watch a good movie or two, um, and just rest my body and not think about yesterday and not think about tomorrow and just be in the moment and take care of myself, you know. Um, a lot of times we think that we need to take PTO, time off of work, when we're taking a trip or taking a vacation. Um, I listen to my body now, that I took time to learn about rest and learn about what I need. And I will take a sick day or a PTO when my mind and my body is like, oh no, not today. I listen to that. Um, and by me listening and taking that time for myself, it has helped me tremendously. Highly recommended. Number two, let go of the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Remind yourself that your worth is not tied to productivity. Number three, start small. If you can start with 10, 20 minutes of mindful rest every day, you're creating a habit, and that's something that you'll be able to build upon and stick with, and that could be taking some time to 10 minutes out of your day just to sit still and meditate or go for a walk or just to sit quietly, because those little things can recharge you. And the more practice we have at rest, the easier it becomes to allow ourselves to slow down without that guilt. Um, and it's an act of love for ourselves, that rest. I always love to hear from you, whether it's something in the comments or if you send me a message. And the question is, how are you embracing rest this week? I want us to normalize rest, to honor our needs, and remember that we don't have to earn it because we deserve it. So until next time, prioritize yourself, embrace the pause, and remember today you choose you.